Hey everybody, it's Abe Brown here with Certified Flourishing Coaching. We're so grateful that you're taking this time to check out this video. I just encourage you, if you could, to take a moment and hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. It really helps us out. Make sure you follow us on all of our channels. And I'll tell you what, we're going to keep producing great content to help you. So right now what I want to talk about is an assumption that will wreck your dreams and that will keep you poor. And the assumption is this, that I can change my money without changing my mindset. And I want to share a little bit of a story to help you understand what I'm talking about. Years ago, I was working with a client and he told me this horrible story of his upbringing, how one day, he lived in a very negative environment. His parents, said that we love you, but actually they were constantly tearing him down to the point that one day they're out there and they're playing in some kind of playground, and his mother looked over at the concrete that was outside of this playground, pointed at the concrete, and she said to this kid, you know what, there's more brains in that concrete than you. And so here I was years ago as a coach working with this guy who was trying to change his money without yet understanding that he needed to change his mindset. And so we started working on the mindset because, of course, that statement that there was more brains in the concrete had absolutely wired his mindset and had set him up for failure rather than for success. And so what we had to do was shift the mindset so that he could step into the abundance that he deserved. Now, let me tell you this, you deserve abundance. You deserve success. You absolutely deserve to live a life where you can fulfill your dreams and where you can accomplish the goals that you've set for yourself. But if you're that person who maybe grew up in an environment that held you back, either by absolutely insulting statements like there's more brains in that concrete than you, or maybe you were in another environment where all you ever understood was poverty, it's going to be very difficult for you to step into a whole new mindset around how it is you can actualize and fulfill your dreams. And so what am I saying? I'm saying that we can change our money if we start by changing our mindset. And I want to talk with you about 3 types of mindsets that need to change. The first mindset that needs to change is what I'll call the identity mindset. Now, the identity mindset is really interesting, and this is the one that I grew up with because all I really ever knew was poverty and lack, and everyone else had more than me. What happened to me as I went into the professional world was I started to believe that everyone else deserved to succeed, get a raise, get a promotion, be successful in their business, thrive within their relationships, thrive in their life, and everyone else deserved that because they're so awesome, but I don't deserve it. And it was interesting because I started to change my money, but as I changed my money, I didn't actually change my mindset. And so in the back of my mind, as I was making more money, getting more promotions, building more of a bank account, getting more assets, here's the crazy thing. In the back of my mind, I kept wondering, when am I going to wreck it all? When am I going to, see all of this that I'm building completely fall apart? And interestingly, I did. I wrecked it all. Everything fell apart. I went through a horrible personal bankruptcy, the whole 9 yards. And it was in that moment that I realized that my problem never was about the money. It was about my mindset, specifically this identity that I had that I'm poor. And that's all I'll ever deserve. And I wonder, is that a mindset that you have had to experience in your life at any time? Is that a mindset that maybe you need to shift? I mean, hey, if you're listening to this video, you're watching this video, and you have this mindset that I'm poor and that's all I'll ever deserve, can I encourage you to change that mindset? Can I encourage you to begin to shift that mindset because you deserve better? The second mindset I needed to change, and maybe you do too, is what I'll call the illiterate mindset. So here's the problem with poverty. The problem with poverty is that if you're raised in poverty, there's no one there to teach you what you need to learn about money so that you can get to the next level. So of course, if you're raised like I was in a poverty kind of based environment, what happens is your parents, the authority figures in your life, they don't have any track record around building wealth. And so what happens is you have an illiterate mindset when it comes to investing, when it comes to getting out of debt, when it comes to getting maybe into the stock market, when it comes into property transactions or building a business. And what I had to actually shift was this mindset of, oh, I'm going to always be poor, to a mindset that said, I can have anything I want, but I have to learn. I have to move from kind of financial illiteracy to financial literacy. I need to understand about investing. I need to understand about property. I need to understand about how to run a business. And you know, that is good news because all of that information is out there. What if you have a destiny to have abundance within your life, but there's an illiteracy when it comes to money that's preventing you from getting there? So the first is an identity mindset. The second is an illiterate mindset. And listen, let me just stop here for a moment and challenge you to go to failuretoflourishing.com, because right there you can subscribe and you can download a free e-course that will talk about these principles and so much more that will move you and shift you from a place of failure to a place of flourishing. The third mindset that I needed to change when it came to my money was what I'll call the instant gratification mindset. Listen to me. Delayed gratification is your superpower. I'll tell you what, in an environment right now where we live in, where everybody is just wanting gratification all the time. Give me my dopamine fix. Give me my stuff. Give me my pleasure. I want to spend the money on the nice brand name clothes. I want to spend the money on the $1,000 handbags. I want to spend the money on the great jewelry. Listen, the way I look at it is I'm going to spend my money on stuff that's going to generate money for me tomorrow. I'm not going to spend money, $1,000 on a sweater when I could put that same $1,000 into a savings account that if I accumulate, it's going to give me a down payment on my next property. But you see, the challenge today is when you've been raised in poverty, like I was, what ends up happening is you have this instant gratification mindset because you've gone without for so long that you don't know what it is to say no to yourself. You don't know what it is to delay that gratification a little bit. Listen, every person that I've ever worked with who went from poverty to wealth, who went from nothing to abundance, every one of them had to learn the power in delayed gratification. Listen to me, you've got to delay your gratification sometimes rather than lean into this instant gratification. So listen, I hope that this has been helpful for you here today. We're not talking so much about changing the money in your bank account. We're talking more about changing the mindset in your beliefs. And if you can change the mindset and the beliefs that you have, the money in your bank account will absolutely follow. You've got to change that identity mindset that says, hey, all I ever deserve is poverty. You got to change that illiterate mindset that doesn't want to learn about new financial realities. And can I encourage you to change that instant gratification mindset? Because that mindset will destroy what you have to invest today that could generate incredible returns for you tomorrow. Sometimes all it takes is a little bit of discipline. So hey, I hope that this has been helpful to you. I would just again encourage you to go to FromFailureToFlourishing.com. Again, that's FailureToFlourishing.com. At that channel or that website, you're going to find an incredible amount of resources that will begin to change your life. Flourishing is not just a concept, but flourishing is a way that you can live your life where you're leaning into your strengths, where you're leaning into what's right about you rather than what's wrong about you, where you can begin to accelerate your effectiveness and next level your life. So please do subscribe, like, comment below. I would love to hear your thoughts on this video, how we can do better, how we can serve you better. If there's anything else you'd love to hear us talking about so we can support you in your growth. Thank you so much.